Hello and welcome to the Miss Rolling In podcast. As usual, my name is Jacob Staten. As usual, I'm joined by JJ Armstrong. JJ, how are you?
I am fantastic. Yesterday was my 30th birthday. I'm just about...
Only 30?
Only 30, my little baby. Just about managing to drink again. It's a struggle, but we'll get through it. For the sake of our lovely two guests that have joined us today, give them an introduction, Jacob.
Because as unusually, we're joined by Chris and Matt from Forest All Over. Chris, Matt, how are you both?
Absolutely grand, thanks. Thanks so much for having us on. I'm sorry I forgot to wish you a happy birthday, JJ.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll talk about it off air. We'll talk about it off air.
Yeah. I'm well as well, by the way. And happy birthday, JJ. It makes me feel old. I'm 37 in a month, so yeah, not great.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, Chris, what did you say? You're 30 in a month or so?
37 in a month.
37, okay. Matt, how old are you?
I'm younger than Matt by over a year or something like that. I don't know, what are you, nearly 40, Matt?
Already. I'm 37 now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
How old do you think I am?
I reckon you're 32.
Oh, bang on. God damn it.
Oh, this is the content we got you on for as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've already wasted time.
So if anyone who's not aware of Forest All Over, they're a sensational podcast covering Forest with guests from, as you can imagine, all over the world. We've been guests on their podcast a couple of times. I think me and JJ once together, and then myself filling in for Matt recently.
Yeah, you were hosting for Matt, who wasn't there. Yeah,
It was good. It was a better episode than we do when I'm there, because I know what you're talking about. I'm actually nervous about being on this.
It's fine. There's two good ones and two shit ones, so we'll be all right.
Oh, okay.
I've put the good ones on the left, so we'll just be in the corner.
Oh, no. Definitely not worse than Chris, but yeah.
Okay. Already starting the digs. All right, we'll see later on, but okay. By the way, can I just... Before you just before you jump in, I just want to say this, because Matt actually told me to tell you this. He messaged me before going on the podcast, and he said, you should tell them that without me and you being alone in our comfort zone and the benefit of speedy edits, that actually it could be a crap episode and we could potentially damage their reputation. So there you go. I've told them, Matt.
Thank you.
I can clear that up. If we manage to survive Jordan Kimberley, you guys are fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. We survived him. We'll be okay. You can't damage our reputation any more than already exists. I think a lot of people think we're rubbish, so we're fine.
We're open to change anyway, aren't we, JJ's hair?
Wow.
I thought you said change his hair, right?
He got called a UFO too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Baldrick from Blackadder, wasn't it? Or Blackadder the First or something.
Yeah. It's good. It's all fun and games, isn't it?
It's all fun and games. So we're gonna, as you can imagine, we're gonna fly into some fatal four-way debate in a second. I will give you a heads up though. We are going to do a bit of a quiz later on. So if you want to play along with us, grab your pen and paper, get yourself ready for that. But first off the traps, we're going to talk about Morgan Gibbs-White, and should we be expecting more from him this season, especially given the way that he ended last season and the summer he had for England under 21s.
Who wants to go first?
I'll take this one.
Yeah, you go, Chris.
I think that obviously we should expect more from him when he expects more from himself. However, I think that we are expecting a lot more based on the evidence we saw last season. I think whenever he had chances last season, it felt like 60 or 70% of the opportunities he created were either converted or made into even bigger and better chances. Whereas this season, it feels like only 20 to 30% of them create big chances. So it could be partly because we're not converting as many of the chances he's creating, or partly because he's not giving or breeding the best opportunities. So yeah, of course we should expect more from him, but I still think he's got a lot in him. I think he's been asked to play out of position quite a bit, and there's a load of caveats that go with that. But yeah, definitely we should be expecting more from him.
It's additional as well. I'm going to caveat this with, I feel like I'm definitely the least football knowledgeable person here. I feel like he's only ever been any good, if we're really honest, isn't he? In that central position in the middle. And even last year, he wasn't always in that position either. And I seem to think a lot of him coming in for the fee that he did desperation we've got as a fan base to have him be this star player, it's all just getting a little bit out of sync for him. And add on top of that the sort of trickery that he does that doesn't always come off, that he gets loads of crap for. Sadly, it's about. I think he needs to be given. We need to be given a chance to that number 10 position or in the middle behind a striker, because he's just so rarely there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he is almost wasted out on the right, but what that gives you is the incredible midfield three we've got. So you sort of swallow it, and I think he can still be effective, but he just needs to adapt to playing in that position. But in terms of should we be asking more from him, I think we should. Given that he's got 0 goals and only 1 assist, which I thought he had 3 assists, because there's the one with Taiwo from Man United, there's a Willy Bolly one, and there was a one which was a scuff shot last week, which went down on fantasy football as an assist, but Athletic, Nottingham Post and all that are reporting that there's only 1 assist, but if it's 3 assists, if it's 1 assist, then I think he could still be doing better. And the reason I sort of put this one in is because there's been a lot of talk recently about his set-piece delivery, which I think has been tragic, or at least it feels like it's been tragic. But I read a stat earlier, I'm just going to read it out, that he's created 10 chances from set-pieces this season, which is the 8th most of any player in the top flight. Neto, Maddison and Eze have all created 11. Jensen and Trippier are on 13, and Alfie Doughty, whoever that is, was on 15, and Ward-Prowse, obviously, with a 20. So it sounds like he is creating the chances, but if I had to think about a Gibbs-White set-piece delivery, it's a corner that doesn't beat the first man. And I don't know if that is as common as it feels, but it does feel like maybe it's time to give someone else a chance.
Yeah, from memory, and sorry to Gunnar Jacobs got to jump in there, but just on that point, to say that he's 8th at league, I think that's sprinkling glitter over a turd, isn't it?
It's a good stat. It's a good stat.
8th at that isn't a great position, is it? It's like it's got to be. You know what I mean, or am I talking absolute nonsense?
Well, he's no Alfie Doughty. I think we can say that.
Yeah.
I think eighth looks good, but when you consider that he takes every set piece, maybe a bit padded.
We had an argument. And Chris were arguing once over this, and I'm actually, to be fair, JJ, I've gone in a bit light on what I said, because I haven't I, Chris? I've always moaned about Gibbs White.
Always.
And you had a go at me. But no, but what you said was, look, how is a break. Are we allowed to swear on this?
You are.
Yeah.
You guys,
family show.
Like going on about how good his set pieces were, specifically about a game. I don't even think it was this season now. I say it. It was, I think it was last season anyway. And you referred to like one time, took a great free kick down towards the Bridgeford end and it went in. And actually, every time I watch him, and it has been for about a year now, I sit there and go, this isn't going to, it's unlikely to come to any use. But I've never sat there getting excited.
But is the reason why we're not seeing ourselves score from set pieces because of him? Not all the time, right? Like a lot of I saw him put in a couple of good set pieces in the West Ham game. There was a load of rubbish ones he put in as well. But I suppose the point is he should be creating at least 7 or 8 out of 10 should be going in a dangerous area. And I don't know. I also think that we can't. The question you asked there, Jacob, was: is it like time to, come up with a new set piece taker? I don't know, because Morgan Gibbs-White is nailed on every game. Harry Toffolo, who people are saying should take set pieces, he doesn't play every game. He has recently, but he doesn't all the time. I know I've mentioned this on other podcasts and stuff before. It's like we can't just go, right, let's take him off. Who are we giving a shot? And then you have to start Harry Toffolo every game to take the set pieces. So I think Gibbs-White still has to take some of them. Do you know what I mean?
Interestingly, sorry, Jacob, you'll get to speak in a minute. Interestingly, another part of this article said that Forest do not currently have a set piece coach, and there are no immediate plans to change that, which I think you can tell quite drastically. We do look a bit hopeless from set pieces.
Andy Reid?
Pardon?
I thought it was
Matt mentioned that Andy Reid was a set piece coach on our last podcast, and I went with it. So hopefully he's wrong. We can call him out next.
I'm wrong.
He's a first team coach, isn't he? But I mean, for me, I think it may be a bit harsher on the set pieces for Morgan Gibbs-White, because I think set pieces are actually harder than what people make out. I get the point of beating the first man. I think a lot of the time at the minute, because you see a lot of players not beating the first man, is because, and we saw this with James Garner as well. in a championship, he's not putting the ball in the mixer. He's trying to hit a specific head. And I think that's a lot of the reason. But you think about good set piece takers, how few and far between they are. You know, I off the top of my head from watching the Premier League for the last 20 years, you're thinking maybe like Ian Hart, David Beckham. I'm talking about like world class, like actual set piece deliveries. James Ward-Prowse, maybe like Luka Modric, but even then I can't, not in particularly. You know, that kind of high level creating chances every game. It is actually, I think it's one of those things. It's a lot harder than what people think.
Such a good point, because we've been saying that about expectation with Gibbs White, and then referring to everyone's talked about James Ward-Prowse in our world anyway, having with Forest playing the other week, and everyone when they talk about James Ward-Prowse, the next person on the list they refer him to is David Beckham. I mean, that says it all. There's literally no one else in between the two, and you're like, oh, right.
And David Beckham hasn't played in the Premier League for literally 20 years.
Yeah. So
and the other thing as well is it comes down to consistency. We always look at a really nice set piece and go, oh, the technique, but it's actually the consistency as well. It's the consistency of James Ward-Prowse consistently popping balls into the middle of the 6-yard box, but just far enough away from the keeper, but close enough to the players. It's like that consistency. And obviously, if you see someone even 50-50 do 50% good balls, 50% bad balls, you're going to start getting annoyed because they're a chance wasted, you know?
So ask the question again. That's the Morgan Gibbs White question again. What was it?
Do you think we should be asking more?
Expecting more?
No. With all that in mind, Beckham Ward-Prowse is actually fair play to him.
I think he's not talking about set pieces specifically. He's talking about should we be expecting more in general?
Shall we ask again?
I think the right wing position hamstrings him. I think it really does hamstring him. I think playing in the 10 or in that on the left wing when Brendan Johnson was on the right, he could cut in because Renan Lodi was a good left back. No disrespect to any of the left backs we've got now. And he could cut in and kind of almost play the 10, even though we're playing with two wingers. I think we've seen glimpses of him playing well, particularly against Villa with Ola Aina. But yeah, I think we do definitely need more, but we need to get him as far up the pitch as humanly possible.
I suppose he's had Taiwo out as well. Obviously, Brennan, he struck up a good connection with. Brennan's gone. So I think add those two plus him being largely out of position, I think it is a tough ask. But a player of that sort of calibre and price tag, I think possibly in terms of his numbers and his output, I think you could say we need a bit more from him. However, I wouldn't trust any other person to be better at delivering that than him because we know he's phenomenal.
So on the back of that then, when Callum Hudson-Odoi is fit, does Morgan Gibbs White start?
Yes, but I would love to see Hudson-Odoi and ELANGA given a chance because that is their more prominent position. But I'm not Steve Cooper. I think Steve Cooper starts him.
I don't think Gibbs White. I think when Callum Hudson-Odoi is fit, and I'm presuming this new kind of 4-3-3, like the actual 4-3-3 is his formation. I don't think it'll be too many more of these performances before he gets dropped for Hudson-Odoi.
Interesting. Chris and Matt.
Wow. And how does that line up though? So you actually have Hudson-Odoi on the right, would you?
Well, him or ELANGA can swap, can't they? But I think even that kind of But ELANGA likes to cut in. I suppose they both like to cut in, don't they? But they're both right-footed, aren't they? So either can play on the right, I suppose.
Right. Yeah. I've just got it in my head for some reason that when Hudson-Odoi's playing, he's going on the left. But because I've got a very basic understanding of that. But yeah.
I think ELANGA could probably be compared to Johnson, kind of, because he liked to play. Like the only right-footed winger that liked to play on the right. I imagine he can play, go straight, very direct, straight down the line and cut it back in. Because last thing I want Anthony ELANGA doing is spending too much time on the ball.
Then again, with Taiwo now being injured again,
oh yeah.
I mean, who do you stick in the middle of them both? And you three can all tell me this. This is maybe just a bit of an invention. What if you got your 4, you go 4-3, and you 3 with Gibbs right in the middle, and put Hudson-Odoi and ELANGA both sort of forward wingers? Is that completely insane?
No, I would absolutely, because isn't that where he played for Sheffield United as well?
Gibbs
I think so.
But yeah, behind and I think it was. I think he chopped and changed quite a lot with sitting behind and going forward. So that seemed to be his position, and he was
without having
great
like a Taiwo, having the two. Would you put Hudson-Odoi maybe as a central striker?
I would personally prefer to put Gibbs White in the middle, dropping in with those two kind of bombing in, either in behind or across type thing. But yeah, absolutely.
I think that shows what a great problem it is to have as a Forest fan when you're debating that, you know, a front four of who's going to be in it out of Taiwo, ELANGA, Hudson-Odoi or Gibbs White. I just think that shows such strength in who we've got in at this moment in time.
I don't think there's a world in which Morgan Gibbs-White doesn't start under Steve Cooper. But then again, I thought that about Brennan Johnson last year. And then all of a sudden, the back end of the season, he got pulled out in order to make way for a better strategy at times. So I'd say Gibbs-White, if that does happen and he does drop out of the team, it won't be every week. It'll be sort of like once every 2 or 3 games. But I think you know, the issue we have is technical players up top. Like ELANGA, as you said, his final product isn't great. And Gibbs White is brilliant on the ball. Callum Hudson-Odoi is really good on the ball. Taiwo doesn't seem good on the ball, but then he ends up putting in the back of the net. So I just think that Cooper's always going to want to keep playing Gibbs White because he's a really good technical forward player. But yeah, it's an interesting thought. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Is that it? Sorry. Yeah, I just stopped things dead there. Matt's there laughing away at me. My internet's been in and out, by the way, so apologies.
I think the next place to go is on the hot topic this week, which is that Everton have been deducted 10 points as of immediately. Does that make Forest safe? No?
We were already safe before Everton got deducted the points, in my opinion.
JJ?
I agree with Chris. I think it was looking like we had enough in us to be safe. Not convincingly. It's going to be stressful, obviously, because it is Forest. However, just having another team be handicapped a little bit more. There's one more team down there on 4 points. It shows how shit the bottom 3 are. That they've got a 10-point deduction and they're not bottom, and they're a point or 2 away from getting out of that bottom 3. But what it does is handicap them and push them down as another team that are, you know, several points behind us. So I think there's enough shit down there that we can, I would say, comfortably allow ourselves to enjoy the season. Won't happen, but I think we can believe.
I want to hear why Matt thinks we're not safe.
Oh no, I just think it's that whole. I think already with what's happened with our team this year, and I can't remember how we've said it, Chris, in the past, but the only times I already talk about Forest are with Chris on our podcast. So that's why I keep referring to episodes rather than just chatting to him casually. But like, there's something about the spirit of this new team. Still was already a new team last year, as everyone was we were talking about. And I think that I just can't sense we're safe because I can't help but feel there's a bit of complacency. Now I know we can't judge books by their cover. I think that the players. I just got an odd feeling about how it's been going, and the Luton, and even the way we caved at West Ham, and even though they're a massive team, Man United, the way that we couldn't even pull off a draw or win there, like I don't know, I just don't buy it, and I can just see it. I can really see it going forward. I'm like, this is. I bet you, it's going to be so nervy against Everton at home, and we should be really eating as a base level and potentially be able to wipe the floor with them. It's just not going to happen. I feel like we're going to lose.
Why should we wipe the floor with them? Sorry, Jacob, I'll take this over. Why should we wipe the floor with Everton?
Yeah, no, you're right. But
they've definitely been winning games lately.
On to my early in the season opinion of Everton, really good, and Decore is brilliant. We shouldn't wipe the floor with them, but what I'm trying to say is it shouldn't be as nervy as I think it's going to be. Probably more accurate to how I feel. I mean, Jacob.
Yeah, I think we were probably already safe. But I don't think this does I don't think them being deducted 10 points makes us completely safe. I was speaking to my dad earlier and we were talking about it. And I actually think Everton will still stay up. I think this is the only season in history where it would be possible. I could see somebody staying up with 25 points, which is when you add the 10 on, he's only 35. And, you know, that's less than what we got last season, isn't it? I think so.
You know what? The other thing that comes to mind on this point, I don't mean to interrupt you there, but coming on to it, I think the African Cup of Nations is going to hit us harder than the likes of Everton. And I just don't know. Squeaky bum time. That bloody Luton result.
Yeah.
Don't mention Luton again.
I know it pisses Chris off. I just it's so key to. I feel like in their head, the players' heads as well a bit. So I feel like I don't know. I don't know.
I think there's complacency. Complacency is a good word because I think there is that, and it's not just with the players. I think it's with the fan base as well. Because the question coming up, spoilers, is do we think Cooper will last a season? Obviously, I think we can guess what we're going to say, but the fact that there are people out there online that are sort of navigating the Cooper out waters with confidence that he should actually be removed and meaning it is crazy. So I think complacency extends to the fan base and also like a sense of entitlement. I know we just said we're going to comfortably stay up, which is a sense of entitlement, but I just think there's enough shit down there to do it. But if anyone's going to fuck that up, it's Forest, because Forest do what Forest do quite a lot of times.
Hey, you need to pick a lane, JJ.
Yeah. You should be happy.
It's so hard as a Forest fan to be overly positive about anything. The last few years have given us some great stuff, but you just think, at what point are we just going to Forest this? Feels too good to be true.
But I think that's that. Sorry, go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate what you're saying, JJ, but I think probably the only game this season where I thought, Jesus Christ, there's no point in this, is there? We're never going to get there, was the Liverpool game. You look at all the other games, and I'm not happy with losing to West Ham away, or being in the position we're in against United and that. But it's been a damn sight better than last season already, hasn't it?
Definitely. Yeah. Well, I still think we'll stay up, but I just feel as a Forest fan, you've always got to have that. Oh. But we might not, which is obviously doesn't really work. But
of course,
but I don't think we're going down. I don't think we're getting relegated. I think I'm just not that confident at the current. I'm just looking forward to how different we feel for better or for worse from April. I just football. It's not even what Forest are like. It's what it's been like in the football season, any league. I just think there's something around the corner which might affect your next question about will Cooper be here.
Well, you look at Leeds last year, and they were in a really good position at the beginning of the season. They beat Chelsea 3-0 at home, I think, and they were flying. And I think that they were at a point where no team had ever got relegated with this certain amount of points they'd accrued after like 7 games or something like that. I think they went and beat Liverpool away as well at Anfield, and then of course slippery slope, slid down the hill. I have a couple of Leeds mates telling me watch out for that because it could be you, kind of thing.
I think
not in a lottery sense.
I think that they had the exact same amount of points, whether that's changed in the last few weeks, but at a certain amount of time where we thought, right, this is us, we're probably going to be safe now. Someone pointed out that Leeds had that amount of points at this time last season, and they obviously ended up going down. So, there are factors that come into it, but I guess that is a very good point that Leeds are a good example that maybe can't get too carried away.
It was different, wasn't it? Because Bournemouth, Forest and Fulham all competed quite heavily last season to get themselves out. And that's one of the first seasons, I think, where all 3 teams went up, stayed up. So It's completely different this season, as you mentioned, Jacob. Like Luton, Sheffield United and Burnley, I think they'll all go down, by the way. I still think they'll go down. Like you said, I think Everton and Forest will survive, no problem. I think all 3 of them are shite. So I think they'll go down.
That's a unique opinion.
All right, yeah, okay, but I'm just making the point here. We're talking about it, Matt. Anyway,
if for those that haven't listened to Forest All Over, this is my favourite part of their podcast, where these two just go at it. It's brilliant.
We're trying not to. Matt said, we don't want to because we don't want to be just taking over. It's your podcast at the end of the day, anyway.
Oh, no, I love it. Carry on. It's my favourite thing. It's like a birthday present in itself.
It's more about knowing. You have all got a someone who's that close to you that everything about the way, not even what Chris says, just the way he says stuff gets under my skin.
Yeah, well, it's what you say. It's what you say that annoys me. So there you go.
I'll use that segue into. We'll skip a question and we'll come back to the other one. But so, do we think Steve Cooper will last the season?
I'll let these two take it first.
Matt, you can go first if you want to. Like the sound of your own voice.
I think he will last the season, but I can really see him even if we do any worse than we're doing now for a period of only 2 or 3 games. I think I can see it both ways. I don't think. Let me be. No, I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think something will happen and he'll lose his job.
Wow.
I don't want that to be the case. I really want Cooper to stay another year. Even if we come 17th, I said when we got promoted, 3 seasons, 17th is fine with me as long as it gets more and more comfortable. As long as it's less nervy. I don't mind if we're 17th, but I actually think that see him getting fired for some horrid reason, like stupid, like we danced with third bottom for about 3. Yeah,
I think that's where.
Do you guys get many comments of abuse from your listeners?
Yes, a lot of times. I think that's.
I'm going down.
Yeah,
that's why they just changed his hairstyle.
Yeah, that's why I have to change it from the UFO. I think that's where the complacency and entitlement comes back in, because realistically, as a team in their second season, 17th is fine. It doesn't matter as long as we stay up. 17th is fine, but there's a portion of the fan base out there that seem to think we should be at least top 4 consistently every week, which just is never going to happen.
Like you at 4:30 on a Saturday.
Yeah, like me at 4:30 on a Saturday. But I just think people are not looking at the fact that 17th is fine, and a lot of people are just thinking we should be doing more because of the money Marinakis has invested. Sorry. Yeah, sure, makes complete sense, but it isn't as easy as that. Chelsea have spent a metric fuck ton, and yet they're not, top 4, or they might be now. I can't remember, but they're not performing to the standards they should be. So putting money in isn't a guarantee, particularly in your second season. 17th will be fine for me, but I think if that did happen, like you say, Matt, and he lost his job because we floated around 3rd from bottom, whatever. I think that just shows that as a club we're being possibly overly ambitious, which is good to be, but you've got to be realistic in the same sense. So if Cooper does go because of that, then I think something's gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, it would, and that's why I think it would be awful. I don't think it would be the right choice.
Yeah, I live in constant fear of Steve Cooper getting sacked.
Yeah,
that's why the results hit harder. I think I just want the best for him.
I personally don't think he'll get sacked this season. I think he will last the season, and not just because I want him to and we all want him to. It's because I just think that he'll keep surprising us, because the reason why we love him as a manager is because he's done that for the last 2 years. He surprised us in the promotion season. He surprised us last season when we were we were basically pointed and singled out for going down early on before Christmas, and he surprised us and kept us together. And I think he keeps surprising us. The Villa game last week, before West Ham game, that was a surprise. We didn't expect to win that. Villa were on a massive run, and we kept them out. We kept a clean sheet. So I think he'll keep surprising us, and that'll keep him in the job. And I think there's a middle ground online and stuff where last season it was Cooper out, very small minority, than everyone else Cooper in. I think there's a small middle ground which kind of cover their tracks by saying, well, look, I don't want him to go, but Marinakis will eventually pull the trigger if he doesn't get with money's worth. I'm like, just say what you think. Like, do you want him to go or not? Because most of us think he shouldn't go. Do you want? And I think that's the problem. Cooper has to win the middle ground, and sometimes I don't think they know what's best for them, if I'm honest.
Yeah. So I think I actually said this when I guested on your guys' podcast that I don't think Steve Cooper will be Forest manager at the end of the season, but I don't think he'll be sacked.
Yes, you did say that, and now
you did say that.
You're right.
I'm not sure where he would
right,
go. I think this.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah.
I think this it'd have to be a big job for him to take it. I think it'd have to be a big job, but I can see the Marinakis family and the way that they operate being a bit too much for him in the long run. And if he thinks Forest is safe and he's left us in a good position, and somebody comes in, I can see that happening. So I'll slide that across the table.
I feel like
can you feasibly see him? Sorry, JJ.
Sorry,
Man United.
No, stop talking nonsense. Maybe Man United would do that, but for me, it's only England that he would go to. I think that's the only position that would interest him. He at least seems to have a real connection with the city and the club, and feels almost like a debt to the city. Is what it feels like. He feels really connected with us, and capture lightning in a bottle, and I think we've got that with Steve Cooper. So I would be very surprised, especially after all the faith that the Marinakis family have put in him and how we've taken to him as a fan base. I would be really surprised to see him sort of rip that up and go elsewhere. Obviously, career progression is a thing, but I can't think of many more exciting places to be as a up-and-coming manager like Steve Cooper and Forest, which is a project he's developing and getting better every season, he's getting the backing he needs. There can't be many more exciting projects out there for a manager. Somewhere like Man United is a big ask, and I think you're almost doomed to fail there, especially if you're a shit manager like Ten Hag. But I just think Forest is a special project in a special city, and I can see him remaining here until something like the England position comes up.
I think if Forest are 10 points clear of relegation and a big club comes in for him,
We are a big club.
Yeah, we are. But can I just say, Jacob, just on that point, I think Jacob made this point in the podcast a while ago on R1. And the one thing I'll say is the warning shot across the bow for that situation is Graham Potter. Left Brighton in a good position, went to Chelsea, didn't work out for him, rebuilding his career. You know what I mean? I just think that might be something Cooper looks at and goes, if I head to a Man United or a Spurs or a Chelsea or whoever, I think that's the warning shot across the bow.
Liverpool's a good shot.
Yeah. Maybe then season if Klopp takes the Germany job.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Liverpool won't take him. Liverpool won't have him because they've had Klopp. So it's really the success with him. It's really difficult to take on unless Klopp vouches for him, like Fergie did with David Moyes. So
he's really got his own thing going, his own brand now going. That's known now. It's in the Prem. And I think that he's got quite a good chance.
That's what makes me think Man United, because Ten Hag can't last. I despise Man United, despise them. And genuinely, I don't see what they see in Ten Hag. I don't understand how he's still got a job. They keep blaming the owners for some reason, despite the fact they've backed him. I'm not saying the good owners, but they've backed him. But yeah, like you say, Cooper's got his own brand of football, his own philosophy. He clearly looks after his club and his players and his staff. Tell me that's too dissimilar. I'm not saying the football's the same, but tell me that's not similar to what Ferguson did at United.
Yes, I guess it's because he doesn't possess that same almost like bullish exterior. Do you know what I mean? I guess I can't. I've never even made the link to Man United. Say it like that. Yeah. It's a convincing argument.
Chris has an Irish supporter of Forest, where everybody else around you has chosen Man United. This must be painful to even theorise about.
It's really difficult, if I'm honest with you. But I think, to Jacob's point, I don't know, because Man United make bad decisions and they pick bad managers. So I'd be surprised if they pick Cooper. And I know it sounds like a sort of a gleeful, funny thing to say, but they gave Ten Hag full autonomy over his signings, and his signings aren't producing. And now the owners are getting blamed. I mean, there should be recruitment policy put in place, but I think, to go back to your point about Cooper, I don't see them making that kind of decision. I see them doing like a De Zerbi or something and bringing something like that in. But it depends. It depends who's in charge or whatever. I think there's lots going on behind the scenes there. I don't see Cooper going to Man United because I don't think that they think he's good enough. As testament to their fans that I always talk to every day, they don't think he's as good as we say as well. He's better than Ten Hag. So, yeah.
Chris bets on Man United winning. He hates it so much.
I don't bet on Man United winning.
He needs to receive some sort of peace. I made money. And he does it with England in World Cup competition.
No, I don't. I put them in my fantasy football team and then they do badly and I have a sort of a win-win scenario in my head. Okay, I win fantasy football points, they do well. I lose fantasy football points, but at least Man United do badly. It's that kind of thing. It's a weird sort of...
So
anyway.
Okay, so the next question is, who is the signing of the season so far?
My personal favourite, I loved, despite the West Ham screw up, I loved him. Really, really excited about him. My favourite Forest player at the minute. I think out of all of them.
I'll go next. I think Dominguez is a great shout, and I think he would probably be my answer had we not done this other bit of business. But for me, if you talk about a specific signing, I think it's got to be Ola Aina, because on a free, he has been absolutely quality. So for value for money, in terms of what he's producing, I think Ola Aina. But Dominguez really excites me, and I think he's a very close second.
I shot my load too quickly on that one.
We've all been there.
I would say that Murillo's definitely one in terms of investment, because he's a brilliant player, and even if he goes, he's going to go for a shed load of money because he's only 21. He seems to be a class centre back already, but I mean, it's early days. But I think maybe I might be taking Jacob's one, I assume, just by what he was saying earlier, but maybe not. Callum Hudson-Odoi for me is our best signing. He was 3 million. If he can stay fit, he has the ability to be a class player. I'm not saying world class, but he has the ability to be a class player. And I think it's just a crazy price tag for a player he's only like 23 and he's class. So for me, he's the best pound for pound signing.
So I actually think that all three of those are absolutely fantastic. And Dominguez, I don't even think that was his fault against West Ham. I think Sangare should be looking where he's running.
Yeah.
But I think Murillo is the one for me. Yes. I love all three of those, but Murillo, he won't be at the club next summer, and that's not because we're not good enough. That's just he's going to be probably the world's best centre back. He is phenomenal.
Wow.
But this is crazy that all four are different, but all four are unbelievable shouts, and you could make a case for any of them. I think that shows we've really got it right this year. And someone like Anthony ELANGA, I think, is also some great business. Yeah. He's got a lot of potential.
I put ELANGA above Hudson-Odoi, actually. But is that? Are you talking basically because of the price tag, Chris?
Everything in general. I mean, ELANGA was what, 15 million.
He's yet to. That was that gorgeous goal, wasn't there?
Yeah, but Elanga's finished product, Elanga's final product in the last third isn't as good as Hudson-Odoi. And I think we can all agree on that. Hudson-Odoi's driven to the cause. Like, I don't know where you're getting that from. You have these things where you think you can analyse people.
I do. I'll go off interview. I really hope I'm wrong. And we have to give him a chance when he's fit.
Yeah,
he's got a lot to live up to, has Hudson-Odoi. Whereas ELANGA is at least, I'm all in on him now. I get it. He's not right, the end products and all that, but he's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like I'm a bit like with Murillo when I watch him play. I'm a little bit like, fucking stop playing so good. Stop it, because you're gonna get sold. Yeah.
Take him off.
He's unbelievable. He is.
When he drops some of those crossfield passes.
Yeah, find out if he's actually injured after that. After he came off, how bad is it?
Oh yeah, it was a hamstring, wasn't it? Which is concerning. It could be bad, but it also could be just, he's there next game. It's really hard to tell.
If we lose him for this next run, it was like Fulham, Everton, Brighton, and whoever else.
For me, it's when Jacob and JJ say how good he is. I think I know where it comes from. I'm not saying that you don't, Matt, but like the way in which he plays. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. But the way in which he plays football, like if you've ever played football, you would know that there's certain things about how sharp he is, how good he is on the ball. He wins every header for some reason. He's not. I don't think he's that tall. I think he's like 6'1" or something.
Yeah, he's not
like
tall. Yeah.
He's not. And like so, there's just certain positional things. I know he was bad against West Ham for that positional play in the corner, but that wasn't always his fault. I just think there's so many things when you watch a player and straight. It's like Gibbs White. Technically, you watch him play and you go, "Fuck, he's beautiful on the ball." It's Murillo is kind of like this full package, and it's frightening. It's how good he is.
At such a young age as well, after playing barely any professional minutes.
It was like 12 or 13 games, isn't it, for Corinthians?
Yeah, mad.
It's bizarre.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. Yeah,
a big confident smile on his face as well all the time.
He seems like a leader. He seems like a really driven character. I think Jacob said this a few times in our podcast, but his interview at Forest, he wasn't really talking about the club. He was talking about himself. So he's obviously got a lot of ambition, and you can tell. And the balls that he whips about like it's nothing is unbelievable. The runs that he goes on, whilst obviously at Liverpool led to a bit of an error. That's annoying, but the fact that before that he'd beaten 2 or 3 of them anyway is ridiculous. And obviously that goal in Crystal Palace, if he scored that goal at Palace, I think I'd have kicked my TV in. He's phenomenal.
Or if Gibbs White had tapped that pass that he gave to Gibbs White in the same game, that's memorable.
Yeah, I'd spin kick the dog. I'd have just gone mental.
You know who he's like? I was talking about the smile on his face, and I don't mean in a sort of mainstream media way. They talk about Rashford all the time like that and stuff. I'm talking about the way people talk about Haaland. Haaland as a striker is a bit like Murillo as a centre-back, I think. He's got that complete smiling... it's
relaxed.
Brilliant arrogance.
He knows he's good. He's arrogance.
He's relaxed being brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like, he's the best player on the pitch. I feel it's in a really sort of nice way.
It's one of those things, you see a player that good, and I always So those things I look back and I think I'd love to see what Pep could do with him. Do you know what I mean?
We'll probably find out very shortly, I'm afraid.
Yeah. We might see next year, mate.
Yeah, he's going somewhere like City or Madrid in a few years. Let's face it. He's
probably gets
but hopefully for a shed load of money.
Yeah.
Hopefully for a shed load. I don't mind, but just take the money. That's like Johnson this year. Johnson went for a good bag. Like, I want that. You know what I mean?
Look what it allowed us to bring in as well. Like.
Yeah. I tell you what though, that match of the day last week when he scored the first goal, didn't he? They play Wolves, didn't they? And he did the bow and arrow celebration.
Yeah.
That cut deep.
The arrow hit all of our hearts.
I wish him all the best in the world. But God, Jesus
I thought it was
poetic,
beautiful.
Matt.
He was giving a nod to us, saying, "I still love you." I love that. I love that.
There was just like a fraction of a second. It was like that episode of The Simpsons where Ralph Wiggum's heart breaks.
Can I just say,
that.
if you support Steve Cooper online, you get this is Nottingham Forest, not Steve Cooper FC. We're going to get a lot of, this is Nottingham Forest, not Brennan Johnson FC. We're all pathetic. Look how pathetic we are.
I'll be honest. It is.
I'm waiting for him. He's going to get a goal at the City Ground. Go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead. You were talking. Go.
That's it. He won't celebrate it.
That would break everyone's hearts, I think, if he did.
No, he wouldn't, would he?
He wouldn't celebrate.
He wouldn't do it.
No. Even Marlon Harewood, I remember years ago, didn't celebrate when he scored against the City Ground. Those players don't celebrate. No.
Right then, I think it's time for the first. Well, is it the first ever quiz, JJ? We've done.
It's the first ever quiz. Yes.
First ever quiz. I say pens and paper at the ready. You can write them down. I've done a very topical 8 questions to represent the 8 points that we are clear of relegation. And also because I thought 5 was too few and I never thought I'd get 5 past JJ. So
Fair enough.
He runs this podcast as a very tight ship.
He does.
I do.
So if you guys want to, do you guys want the answers after each question or all the answers at the end?
Answers at the end.
And
sorry, you lead it.
Okay.
You do whatever you want. Sorry,
No,
It's a
questions at the end.
democracy.
Good. JJ, what do you think?
It's a democracy, so I'm already outvoted, but I'm going to go for end anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right then. Okay.
All right.
I'll give you 30 seconds for each question. That's only one point. I'll give you 60 for the ones that are more than 1 point. Okay.
Do we say our answer? Sorry, let's just clarify.
No. Write them down, and we'll go from at the end. It's just so you can't cheat.
Pass them to the next person at the end to mark.
Yeah.
Okay. This will be great for the audio listeners, by the way. Just 30 seconds of silence whilst we scribble away.
Well, I'll just repeat the question, my mate. Right. Okay. Question 1. Forest's most synonymous shirt sponsor, local brewery Shipston's, adorned the famous Garibaldi when? A. 1986 to 1987, B. 1987 to 1993, or C. 1993 to 1997.
I'm sorry.
30 seconds now. Sorry?
I'm sorry. I was scrambling for a notepad. I wasn't listening. Can you just do that again?
Yes, I'll repeat it again, my mate. Forest's most synonymous shirt sponsor, local brewery Shipston's, adorned the famous Garibaldi when? 86 to 87, which is A. B. 87 to 93, or C. 93 to 97.
This is unfair because we've talked about the fact that I had just turned 30. You've got these 2 pensioners below me that have an advantage here.
Well, hang on. You should know that. You should know that because even though Matt's terrible at quizzes, I know that I have a feeling he knows that.
Right then, you guys ready for question 2?
I'm ready.
Right. Who is Forest's record signing? And that's the highest fee paid. 30 seconds starts now. So that's who is Forest's record signing? That is the highest fee paid. You guys can just let me know if you've done before the time is up.
I'm done.
Is that a trick question? That's a trick question.
But I don't know, Matt. Is it?
Oh, fine.
Yeah, all done?
Yeah, all done, all good.
Lovely. Okay, question 3 is what is Forest's longest unbeaten run in the number of games?
Ugh.
Ever.
What is Forest's longest unbeaten league run? The number of games, please.
In history.
In our history.
Well, hang on. Do you have like a list of ones that we can go through, or do we have to guess in as close?
The number of games. Number of games. You have to get it right. It's not closest. You have to get it right.
God,
you have to get the exact amount of games, league games, right.
This should not be a hard question, by the way.
Yeah, I know the other fact associated with this.
I'm stressed out. I'm stressed out.
Question 4. What profession was Steve Cooper's dad?
Keith.
What profession was Steve Cooper's dad?
Keith.
Let me know when you're done, lads.
I'm done. Got it.
JJ's done.
Well done, Chris.
I don't know if...
I'm done. I don't have to give the thumbs up.
Say.
I'm still thinking about the other question.
Right, question 5. As a youngster, Forest captain Joe Worrell had 2 loan spells. That's 1 and that's 2. Who were they with? You get a point for each correct answer.
Fucking hell.
30 seconds starting now.
Ugh.
So, as a youngster, Forest captain Joe Worrell had 2 loan spells. Who were they with? 1 point for each correct answer.
Hell. Of course.
Really done my head in. I know I've got this wrong, but I've got to predict.
On this one, I think one of them is probably easy and one of them's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck, this is horrible.
Yeah,
Time's up, Matt. Time's up, Matt. Matt's
talking. I'm getting. It's not right. I know who did that. Oh no, got it.
Oh, there we go.
What?
Right.
I guess there's no point having a time limit here.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys, yeah.
6.
So, question 6. Can you name the 6 players who have won Forest Player of the Year more than once? You get a point for each correct answer.
6.
6. You got a minute now. Can you name the 6 Forest players who have won the 6 players who have won Forest Player of the Season more than once?
Fucking hell.
I would say, I'm not saying this is obviously I wrote the question, so I'm not saying this is easy, but I think you could probably get 4 or 5 at a stab without.
How
even
far
knowing
back
any
does this go though? Like, does it go back as far as like the 60s?
This competition started in 1978.
Oh bollocks.
That's important info. Good.
So, can you name the 6 players who have won Forest Player of the Season more than once?
I know I'm wrong. I don't think I've got
10
one right.
seconds.
All good. I'm done.
A bit of throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks on that one.
Same here.
Cool. Okay. Question 7. On October 28th, 1967, we recorded our highest ever attendance at the world famous City Ground, which was 49,946, with a 3-1 victory against Manchester United. Sorry, the once great Manchester United. Who scored the consolation goal for United? Your 30 seconds.
In what year, sorry?
No. 1967.
Fucking hell. You know.
So, sorry.
In fact, my dad claims he was at this game despite the fact he was 4.
Sorry, who scored the consolation goal in a game against Man United in 1967?
On October 28th, 1967, we recorded our highest ever attendance at the world famous City Ground, which was nearly 50,000, with a 3-1 victory against the once great Manchester United. Who scored the consolation goal for United?
Done. I'm guessing. I'm throwing shit at a wall like Matt says it. It's fucking caked in it.
Question 8 then. The last 5 Forest managers to take control of 50 games or more, so not including Steve Cooper, and these are unfinished business era Billy Davis, that's second spell, Dougie Friedman, Ita Karanka, Sabri Lamouchi, and Chris Hooton. Can you put them in order of the most games won, highest to lowest, and you get a point per right position?
Okay, can we check that question again? Because I feel, shouldn't Mark Warburton be in that list, or am I?
Didn't manage 50 games.
Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot. So it's 50 games or more. You want them in order of who won the most games.
Yep. So you've got
Who won?
unfinished business. You got second spell, Billy Davies, unfinished business era.
Okay.
Dougie Friedman, Aita Karanka, Sabri Lamushi, and Chris Hooton. Your 1 minute starts.
So, are we ranking
now.
them in how many games they've managed or how many games they've won?
How many games they won?
Right, okay.
So that's unfinished business era Billy Davies. That is Dougie Friedman, Aitor Karanka, Sabri Lamushi, and Chris Houghton.
Oh, Christ. I think I've let us down here, Jacob.
Just while we're waiting for this, does anyone else secretly pray, wish, and hope that we can get one more stint with Billy Davies as manager?
Yes,
Jacob does. I don't.
I would love it.
My dog is named after our second greatest manager ever, and his name is William McIntosh Davies.
I'd love Billy Davies to be given another chance under this ownership.
Yeah,
I think I've got the answer to this question, guys.
I heard what I hope is a horrific rumor that Billy Davies is such a big Rangers fan that when he joined Forest, he had anything green removed out of the manager's office.
Wow.
Checks out.
Could be true, but I'll tell you something. He hasn't managed since he's been at Forest, has he? So it's been a good 10 years. So
He's still a contract, isn't he?
Notts County, couldn't you? You've been going in at Notts County and taking them into the champion.
Yeah, you could.
well, he hasn't
see him on
managed in
Disney
10
Plus,
years, so
couldn't you?
no.
He's a
Oh,
lunatic.
that was the room, wasn't it? Him going to Wrexham. Imagine Billy Davies on Disney Plus.
Brilliant.
The show to get cancelled.
Right then, guys, are you ready?
Ready.
Yeah, I've got the name of one of those.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah? Do you want me to read the names out again, Matt? Oh, do you want?
Yeah.
No, forget it.
I've got the space for it. I've put in a minute second. I've just put the names.
Okay. Right then, guys. So question 1 was Forest's most synonymous shirt sponsor, local brewery Shipston's, adorned the famous Garibaldi when? A, 86 to 87, 87 to 93, or 93 to 97. Do you want to hold your answers up? Or do you want to tell us your answers? Hold them up, whichever you like.
Oh, that's a good system from
Chris
Matt.
could cheat.
I went for 87 to 93.
Same.
Chris?
87 to 93.
That is correct. So 87 to 93 was Shipston's. 86 to 87 was Skoll, if anyone's interested. And 93 to 97 was? There you go. Sensational. So if you got question B, if you got answer B, give yourself a point. So question 2, who is Forest's record signing? That is the highest fee paid. Lads, what we got?
Ibrahim Sangare.
Sangare.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Reportedly £30 million, apparently, from PSV Eindhoven this summer.
I was desperate for Matt to write
sorry.
Chris White there.
Qualified for the Champions League and then decided he wanted to be Trent's side.
Stop the quiz for a sec. Sorry, folks. Jacob, is there any chance you could repeat question 3 for me? I haven't written anything for it because I just went over it. Is it just repeat it for me?
That's fine, mate. Okay, so question 3 was the longest unbeaten league run for Forest in number of games.
You're a cheat,
Just
Chris.
need a number.
Shut up, Matt.
You cheating
This
bastard.
should be this probably should be the easiest answer of the whole quiz.
Why do you keep saying that?
In my
It's
opinion,
making me think something different. I don't know. Longest unbeaten run.
Cheated.
longest unbeaten
Shut
run.
up,
Is everybody ready?
Yeah, I've just guessed.
The answer is 42.
What?
Brian
why
Clough,
is that?
Nottingham Forest, went unbeaten from November 1977 to November 1978, which is 1 day shy of a full year.
I went
Yeah,
18.
What did you?
I
What
didn't get it right.
I wrote 38, thinking 38.
Yes,
Chris?
You got it right. Yes, you got it wrong.
No,
I thought you had that.
Chris, did you put anything?
No, I was miles off.
Okay,
I was in the
JJ?
20s.
I guessed 18. I thought you meant last season in the championship.
Do you not remember when Arsenal broke it? There was a whole hullabaloo.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I, that's the thing. I remember that Forest had the record, so Arsenal built it. I just, for some reason, thought it was a season. They'd gone a whole season. It was 38 unbeaten.
It was, yeah. It was the season. I think it was the season halfway through the season we won the league, and then we won the Champions League.
Yeah, and I thought in my head, I thought in my head it was that, but I thought it would have been more than just the season. It would have been way longer. And then I didn't do it because you started saying you should know this. And I was like, does he mean the championship season that JJ's talking about?
Because Forest also went on to, straight after achieving that, they went on to be the first team to break the most losses in a row shortly after that.
So Forest.
I did not know that. I did not know that. I did not know that secondary fact. That was cool.
Let me dig.
I don't know if it is a fact, Matt. We don't know if Matt's.
I learnt about them both at the same time. So yeah, it might not be complete. Someone said Forest got the record for most games without losing until Arsenal beat it. But at the time I heard this, it was Forest have got that record. And then they went and broke the most losses in a row in like a couple of seasons later.
That's unbelievable.
No, the most losses in a row was, I'm sure, 96, 97 when I first started supporting Forest, and then I think we broke our own record a few years later. But yeah, anyway.
Do you mean in like the Premier League, in like the first division history, or do you mean just Forest, Matt?
Premier League,
In
first division, Premier League.
Division.
Yeah. Okay. So, question 4 is: what profession was Steve Cooper's dad?
Called Keith. He's a referee.
Referee,
Yeah.
Yep, referee. Keith Cooper was a Premier League referee until 1996 when he retired.
Love you,
Apparently,
Keith.
Steve Cooper used to get shtick at school if his dad gave bad decisions at the weekend.
Imagine what it'd be
of the
like
day.
now with VAR. He'd get the shit kicked out of him.
But referees nowadays are all sociopaths, aren't they? They don't have kids.
Fair enough.
Chris, you're muted.
yeah, but I wasn't talking.
Bono on the edge of falling out. Look.
Yeah.
Sorry. But Matt, do hold up your answers for the next few, because I know you know, from our quizzes in the past, you've cheated.
Firing in it.
So question 5. As a youngster, Forest captain Joe Royle had 2 loan spells. Who were they with? And you get a point for each one.
So I forgot about Rangers. That's the obvious one. Second one's a complete stab in the dark for me. I just wrote Scunthorpe, but I think that might have been Ryan Yates.
That was Ryan Yates, correct? Yeah.
That was Ryan Yates. I thought Scunthorpe, but I didn't go for Scunthorpe because I felt Yates did that with Tony when they were there.
Yep.
I went with Lincoln.
Oh, that's Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, I went with Dagenham and Redbridge.
Matt, you are correct.
Thanks.
Foul play. Foul
Look
play.
at that. Daggers. The daggers. There you go. So a point each. If you got Rangers, you get a point. If you got Dagenham and Redbridge, you get a point.
Yes.
Fuck, I never would have guessed that. Chris is fucking
Bono
fuming.
takes the edge.
Whee! He's good. He's good.
Oh. So, question 6 is: can you name the 6 players who have won Forest Player of the Season more than once?
So you said of all time.
Point for each, yeah?
Sorry?
Point for each.
Yeah, point for each. Point for
Oh,
each.
good.
Lots of chances to turn it around.
I think I went too recent with this. Andy Reid, Chris Cohen, James Garner, Mikel Antonio, Stuart Pearce, David Johnson.
Nope. So you got 3 there, JJ.
Who?
Can anyone elaborate?
Oh, which
Right, so-
3?
Go, Matt Reid, Stuart Pearce,
Right.
Andy Reid, Chris Cohen.
Sorted.
I haven't
Matt,
got
do you want to
Andy
go with
Reid.
yours?
Yeah, I haven't got
Got
Andy
Andy Reid?
Reid. I've got Cohen and Pearce.
Yeah.
And then I put Lee Camp.
No.
Nigel Clough.
Correct.
Stan Collymore.
Nope.
No, I scribbled that out. I put Steve Stone.
No.
Oh, and Kevin Campbell.
No.
Chris
Chris?
gets his 5th.
I thought that was a lot of shit thrown at the wall.
I'll be honest. I have Stuart Pearce,
Yep.
David Johnson,
Nope.
Robert Earnshaw,
No.
Shout.
Nigel Clough,
Correct.
Stan Collymore,
Nope.
John Robertson.
No. Mind-bogglingly. So the correct answers are so Stuart Pearce and Des Walker both won it 3 times.
Walker, for fuck's sake.
Nigel Clough, Andy Reid, Chris Cohen, you all got.
Yep.
And the one you're missing is Kenneth Burns.
Ah,
Makes
And that's
sense.
probably the one I would have said you would have missed.
God damn it. Des Walker. Tapping.
Coincidentally, Andy Reid won his 2 10 years apart. 2004, 2014.
yeah.
Yeah, good start.
Mm.
Did
Right,
Garner,
so
Garner didn't win it twice with the 2 seasons he was here?
Garner didn't win it either time, did he?
Garner was only half a season, and then
And then one full season.
and then one full season. Where didn't Scott McKenna win it that season?
Yeah, McKenna
The
did
playoff
win it,
season?
Yeah.
McKenna won it.
What, when we went up?
I think he's right.
I think
Scott
so.
McKenna won Player of the Season the year we went up.
I think so. He was brilliant.
He was fantastic.
He was brilliant all season. Yeah.
Okay.
Brennan probably should have won it, but because he had like almost 20 goals and 10 assists. But yeah, I mean, McKenna was brilliant.
Keenan
so.
Davis.
Okay. Oh God, don't. It's easy to forget. We only had Keenan Davis for half a season, and he was injured for 8 weeks of that.
And Jed Spence.
He's an absolute hero.
What a team. I love that team. We need to stop glorifying them, but what a team.
Also, do you remember that banner? I think there was 2 or 3, and I got them mixed up now, but I think it was the Sheffield United semi-final at home. The banner that just had all of their faces etched in it. You had like Keenan Davis. That was class.
Yeah. I can't think the name Jed Spence without in my head going, Warnock said Jed Spence was shite.
Yeah. I've got a mint video, of at Wembley. I got a lucky seat right below, the bit where they lift the trophy.
Yeah.
I was just below that in a sort of posh area, and the players are queued up to get behind me, and I've got myself like a teenager shouting that song at Jed Spence, and he's got the thing tied around his head, and he starts doing that at me at my camera. I've never uploaded it.
That's gold.
It's fucking.
If only you had somewhere where you could put like Forest content online, that would be really good to put there.
Matt, you need to send that to JJ so we can do the outro with that.
Yes, let me find it.
Chris is fucking fuming now.
Let them use it on their podcast, but don't give it to me, Matt. Yeah, cool. For our podcast, he'll give it to you and all. That's it. But anyway,
I've got to dig. I mean, this is where it's going to kill everyone. I'm just probably a bit boring now. What I'm saying, but I've got to dig it out.
May 30th, 2022. 22?
He'll find it.
21.
Who cares? Next.
2022.
Here we go. This is the mother of all questions.
We deviated.
Sorry, question 7. So on October 28th, 1967, we recorded our highest ever attendance at the world famous City Ground, which was 49,946 because safety regulations did not matter. With a 3-1 victory against the once great Manchester United, who scored the consolation goal for United?
I'm going to go first because I'm 30, so I don't know these things. But I just threw Bobby Charlton at the wall. I don't know it.
Nope.
I threw Bobby Charlton at the wall.
Good guess.
I was between 2 people for me, Dennis Law and George Best. I went George Best.
Yeah, ridiculous. Georgie Best. There you go. He was actually first division's top goal scorer that season. It was joint with somebody else I don't know, but Georgie Best. Yes.
Chris and I are back on level pegging. What are you on?
Back. You were back level. So this is down to the last question.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm on 7 currently.
It's the maximum score is 18.
2, 3, 4, 5,
It's not
6,
great.
7. I'm on 7. I'm on 7. We're all on 7.
I'm on 8.
No, fuck. You're not on 8. Are you? Oh my god.
He got Dagenham and Redbridge, didn't he?
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, and he got 3 of those. He is on 8. He is on 8.
Matt, if you win this because of Dagenham and Redbridge, you need to have a shirt next time you guys do a podcast.
I'm buying Dagenham and Redbridge with Worrell on my back.
Yeah. Right then, question 8. Thankfully, there's 5 points on offer.
Oof.
So, the last 5 Forest managers to take control of 50 or more games, not including Steve Cooper, are unfinished business era Billy Davis, Dougie Freedman, Ita Karanka.
Hang on, I put Steve Cooper as
Matt,
number 1.
let him speak.
I specifically said 1,000 times, not Steve Cooper.
Fuck.
He did say that.
Okay,
so you lose a point.
Carry on, keep going.
How many answers have you got, JJ? Because it should be 5.
I've got
Who are you missing, mate?
Cooper, Davis, Freedman, Karanka, and Houghton.
You're missing Lamouchi, mate. Just swap Cooper for Lamouchi. There you go.
Well, hang on.
So the last 5 Forest managers to take control of 50 or more games, not including Steve Cooper, or unfinished business era Billy Davis. That's the second spell. Dougie Freedman, Ita Karanka, Sabri Lamouchi, and Chris Houghton. Put them into order of most games won, highest to lowest. So that is the most games won while they were manager. Can anybody tell me who won the least amount of games?
I've put
who's in 5th place? In 5th place, yeah.
I'll put Houghton at the bottom.
Houghton.
All get a point. It's Chris Houghton. He was in charge for 53 games and he won 14 of them. He was an absolute dirge of a manager.
Rubbish.
In 4th place, everyone.
Karanka.
Matt?
I put Billy Davies.
I put Billy Davies as well.
Ita Karanka is correct. Oh, it's neck and neck now. In third place, sorry, to confirm, Ita Karanka was in charge for 51 games and he won 16 of them.
I've got Karanka in 3rd.
I've got Lamouchi in 3rd.
I've got Karanka in 3rd as well, like Matt.
In 3rd place is Dougie Freedman with 19 wins from 57 games.
Well, I think that shit.
In second place,
Billy Davis.
Got Friedman.
Matt.
Dougie Friedman.
Chris?
I had Friedman, but he just said Friedman. It's not Friedman.
In second place is Sabri Lamouchi with 20 wins from 55 games, which means in first place is who?
King Billy.
William McIntosh Davies.
I put that in.
It's for his second. It was no, it can't be for his second spell. His second spell.
You forget we were good. We sacked him for no reason. We missed out on the playoffs on the last game of the season.
For no reason other than the fact he was a fucking
Anthony Knockout
lunatic.
grabbing his nuts after he scored. So
No
in
reason
first
other than
place
he went psycho.
Yeah, he literally had a psychotic breakdown. I thought everyone was
Well,
we don't know that,
but he was our raging lunatic.
Yeah.
So
I
Billy
loved
Davis
him.
with 59 games in charge and 25 wins.
I think that JJ's pulled it back for the win, but luckily I've remained second place.
Well, how many points have you got?
Everyone, if you could top them up, lads, that'd be sensational. If anybody needs any confirmation or any questions, give me a shout.
I've got 9.
I've got 9.
I've got 8. I don't believe Matt's fucking beat me. I knew going into this, I knew JJ might, and I had a feeling Matt would because there'd be some random questions, but I'm actually fuming. But yeah, it's between you two. Well done.
Well, Jacob, you said earlier that you took out the hardest question, and I said you should put it back in. We need a tiebreaker.
I don't think either of you get the answer, though.
Is it one where we can get
Well, hang on.
close
If the
to
questions
it?
are, can I answer it?
It's between me and JJ, Chris.
Yeah, sorry, Chris.
Fuming.
Who, across all competitions, who is Forest's record appearances?
All competitions, record appearances.
I'm just gonna give you 10 seconds. I'm gonna put a timer on, and then you both would have given me an answer.
Oh, it's one of 2 players, and I've got this wrong or right before. Okay, I'm gonna have to go with.
Right, 1 second. Joshua?
Complete guess. Shit out of wall. Des Walker.
Nigel Clough. Oh,
Can I say it?
You can't, Chris.
So I think it's always between Stuart Pearce and Steve Chattel, and I think it's Steve Chattel.
no.
Nope.
Ooh.
I know who it is.
Fuck.
It's a goalie.
Nope.
I know it is the goalie.
All-time record appearances. You guys, all right, number 1, spend more time on our Wikipedia, and number 2, spend more time playing Football Manager. It's Bob McKinley.
Oh, right.
Oh, I've had this before.
I've never even heard of him.
All right, I'll do a second tiebreaker question.
Okay.
Who is Forest's record goal scorer?
Nigel Clough.
I know. Nigel Clough. Nigel Clough.
Oh, number 2.
Story Moore.
JJ.
John Robertson. I don't
Stan
fucking know.
Collymore.
It's isn't it Clough?
So you know how you know how football has this thing of like, oh, it didn't start in the it didn't start with the Premier League,
Right,
you know.
right,
It started in '92. Forest have this issue of our Forest history didn't start in '78.
Marlon, David Johnson or Marlon Harewood.
It's Welsh striker Wally Ardron.
Oh.
Sorry, no, it's not. It's Grenville Morris.
Oh shit! I actually know that. I actually know that as well.
Right, it's got to be a question. We've got to have a tiebreaker. Sleep tonight.
Right, JD's going to cut this out because I need to think of a tiebreaker. Forest scored the first goal live from the Premier League on TV, live on TV.
Yes.
Who scored the goal?
Fuck! I wrote Liverpool.
Write it down because this isn't fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
We've done this question before. We've done it on one of our quizzes.
Remember, I'm 30, Jacob. As recently
You
as
spent all your
yesterday.
time on TikTok. How you've not come across this, I don't know, mate.
Well, I originally have written Liverpool, which isn't the
No.
answer.
Who scored? That was the right.
I know.
We scored against them, but who scored the goal?
I think I've got it. I to put pressure on you.
JJ, you want to
Give
wild
me-
stab in the dark? Was it 92? 1992 would have been Premier League, or 93?
I think it's 92.
Oh wait, shit! What's his name? I know who it is. I don't know who it is.
Right, I'll give you.
Colin Barrett.
No.
I remember the song about who put the ball in the Scousers' net.
I was at school with Colin Barrett's son, still a pal of mine.
All right, bragger.
Yeah.
What a name drop, eh?
Yeah, just give the answer, Matt. We know you have the answer. Just do
Are you
it.
sharing him?
Yeah, there you go.
God damn it.
That's the dummy.
I can't believe it.
I got to buy a Dagenham and Redbridge shirt, Chris. In fact, I should buy it for Chris. Yes,
Yeah. Like all the months I sent to people.
On the classic football shirts trying to find you one.
Dagenham, Redbridge.
I'm actually feeling it, yeah.
Heavily weighted towards the old
very
people.
impressed with your performance, if I'm being honest, mate.
To be honest with you, I thought I would be last. So at least Chris is shitter than me. That's fine. I'll take that. It's more embarrassing for Chris. Not only has he come behind me, Matt spent the whole podcast going, I don't know, you tell me. And he's fucking won it.
This happens though. This happens with him a lot. So on other quizzes, he flukes them and then he thinks he's a genius. But yeah, I had a feeling this would happen. But yeah.
He's not happy.
Yeah.
He's not happy.
Whatever, it's grand. We'll talk. It's grand. We're good. Well done, Matt. Congratulations.
I have the absolute feeling that it's not grand in the slightest.
Yes. It's pain in those eyes.
Okay, so on Saturday we are playing Brighton. Myself and JJ will be in Poets Corner. We'll be doing a match day vlog, won't we, JJ?
We will. Just to say, it's my first game back this season after breaking my shoulder. And me and Jacob have not been to a Forest game since the Arsenal game in May. Or not even seen each other since May due to this horrific injury. Everyone feels sorry for me. So I can't wait.
Flash up that picture of your scar on the screen.
Yes, it's finally time. We're back. Feels right.
Can't wait to hear your boys' episode after you've been to see what everyone's talking about the atmosphere not being as good. Or there've been some mentions of it. It'd be interesting to see what you're so used to going. I'd be like, nah, it's fine.
I think it will be fine purely because it's a bigger team or a good team. I think when it's someone like Luton and Burnley, I think struggle to get behind the team because it's a bit boring, isn't it, really? So, like Villa, that sounded a bit better. You were there? Were you at Villa, Matt?
I was at Villa, yeah.
It sounded better.
Villa. Oh, it was mint. It was great. Oh, great. And I was at West Ham as well. I don't know. Yeah, I always had to sit with the West Ham fans.
In the home end.
It was awful.
Yeah. I think that's just a poor stadium in general for atmosphere, isn't it?
It's also not their stadium, it's just where they play.
I just hated having to sit. So
they're Upton Park.
They were hating on the Forest fans, and I was right in the thick of a particular clump that hated us a lot, and stood up with them, yelling abuse at our own fans because I felt like I was sticking out like a sore thumb. It was so bizarre.
You get to pretend. Love that.
And especially, I'd only just sat down and started finishing my burger, literally at the beginning, as the first goal went in, and I almost thought, shall I just leave now?
Just channeling Smithy and Gavin from Gavin State. You slag.
Yeah.
You know what the best thing is?
Out of interest, any of you guys go to Upton Park?
I've never been. No, have you been up to Park, Matt?
Yeah, I went and saw us what's that ex-England goalie that played for West Ham? He's now a pundit.
David James?
Green.
No,
Rob Green.
Rob Green was still in goal.
Was that the
FA Cup match?
3-2 loss? They scored from a fluke cross.
Yeah,
I was there as well. What a great ground, very similar to the City ground, and all of a sudden they sell their soul, and
it was great. Yeah,
this is what I don't understand about you lot. I vaguely remember last season, and you were like, "Oh yes, that 3-2 victory at Upton Park."
Because I was there. Because I was there.
Oh no!
Was this pre-alcohol? Was it when you were a kid?
Yes.
Maybe maybe that's a lot of the reason for my foggy memory.
I mean, one thing I will say is the stand was so low that I couldn't see the other end of the pitch, so I didn't see any of the Forest goal.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Remember everyone singing, "You let your country down. You let your country down."
Yeah.
Jesus, it's brutal.
Was that World Cup 2010 when he let that?
It was against USA.
Yeah.
Against USA, which was great for me because I'm Irish, so I was delighted.
And so obviously so is everyone who plays for America. So. Or from Boston, either way.
Yeah, okay. I always see what you're saying. Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. So we end the episode with guessing what we think the score will be against Brighton. So, Chris, what do you think?
I think we'll beat Brighton. I think that, obviously we had a good record against them last season, 4 points off out of 6. It's a different season, but I still think we'll beat them. They're struggling to find form at the moment. I don't think they've won in the last 5. I know they're going to be gunning for us, but Matoma got a bit of a knock during the week. I think we'll beat them. I think we'll win 2-1. Yeah.
Okay, Matt?
Yeah, I just don't think. I just can't see it. I've gone all pessimistic. I changed daily though. I think we'll draw. I really think we'll draw. No.
I would argue that's optimistic because they are a very good team.
Right, yeah.
JJ?
I'm going for a Nottingham Forest 1-0 win and then a lovely, infamous City Ground atmosphere lifting the players through, a bit like Villa. We'll have to really dig in. I think they're a good side, very well coached, but I think I could see us picking up 3 points.
It's so true what you said. Everything that we said at the beginning of the episode about being complacent. There's moaning about a 1-1 draw with Brighton.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd take a point right now.
I think. What was the score last week? Did we beat them 3-1 last season? It was at the end, wasn't it?
3-1, yeah.
Yeah.
They scored a disallowed goal late, though.
You said 2-1, didn't you, Chris? JJ said 1-0.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we'll win. I'll go for the best score in football, 3-2, Forest. I just have they're a good team, so I think we'll do well. I think we'll probably drop points against Everton. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it?
We're all pretty optimistic about this weekend then. We're going to go out there and do the job. Is that right?
I have had most of the bottle of the wine, so.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I haven't been drinking, and that's strange for me, so. And I think we're going to win. Yeah.
Yeah?
Right. I hope you enjoy the game, lads.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, thank you very, very, very much for Chris and Matt. I think it's been an excellent episode. I'll let you guys plug and tell us where you are.
Matt, do you want to take this, or do you want me to take it?
Chris, do it.
Yeah, because you don't remember or know. But it's at Forest All Over on Instagram or at NFFC All Over on Twitter is where we are. And it's the Forest All Over podcast because we're the Forest All Over the World podcast. Follow us and like us and listen to us as well. And Matt keeps shaking his head as if we're not the Forest All Over the World podcast. We've had lots of people from lots of different countries on loads of times when we can match the time zones up. But Matt's sometimes missing, so that's why he's doing that. But yeah, brilliant. Matt, do you want to say anything else? Or?
Every podcast goes to everywhere around the world.
But it's different. We have fans from different parts of the world on who are part of fan groups in Serbia, China, everything. You know what I mean?
How are you two arguing about what you are as a podcast?
I know. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
Well,
I really am.
You'll have noticed.
Your listeners are, as Matt said, we're going to damage your reputation. And
You've enhanced it. You've enhanced it. If you look, those that are watching the video, if you look below, there'll be some things flashing around the screen. You'll notice that it says their Instagram and Twitter. So you've got the handle there. The link will also be in the description, which will be easier for you to click. So make sure you follow them because they are lovely lads, or at least one of them is. I'll let them decide which one that is.
Well, it's been great to join you guys. I love listening to your show, and it's thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much. You guys are brilliant, honestly. And Jacob's filled in for Matt before, and JJ and Jacob have both been on our podcast. And honestly, you lads are lovely. We've both been to the Poets Corner and had points with you separately. Hopefully, we can do it together, all four of us.
Yes, absolutely, 300%. So, if you're listening for the first time, you've had an absolute treat. God bless you. If you've come back again and again and again, God knows we love you. You Reds.
You Reds.
You Reds.